Right now, we doing this a damn
I told you I'm sitting on half a cheek. My other cheek got deflated when I sat on one of them pimple pushers.
Why you we starting the damn show talking about butt cheek? What the hell wrong with you?
I just told, look, hold on. I just finished pulling my foot out of a waffle iron. I'm trying to keep it warm. It's colder than the whole selling fruit and both cheeks.
Now you got my daddy up here talking about he trying to figure out what the hell I'm talking about. Smiling on me, you talking about butt cheeks. It's all your goddamn fault.
Just make sure you ain't over there playing in that toilet. You mess around and get icicle stuck in your cheeks.
See, you have to tell everybody about the toilet shit again. Always embarrassing me.
You know what? That's all right. Look, just go ahead and get your glass of that pink lemonade from that beach around boy.
That lemonade did something dirty to me last time.
That's what happened when you get it freshly squoze.
See, we just need to go ahead with the goddamn show. Thanks down, let's go on with the damn show. Talking about damn freshly squoze lemonade at the butt cheek. What the hell wrong with?
Take us home to K up the styles.
And that brought to you by the stylists of Roscoe and Rondrell. Sponsored by the villains of the Atlanta Falcon Nation family. Those are the second cousins twice removed. Their parents were cousins. So yeah, that's why they
Woo, just the good old boys. All in the family.
Definitely all in the family right now, man.
Hey, man. I like to give a special announcement, K-Styles.
What's up? Go ahead,
so, I just want to give everybody a special thank you for helping the heavy hitters, man. We did this in record time, and it's all because of you guys. So we're waiting on the quote unquote everything to get finalized, but the heavy hitters has reached our goal of 500, man. So we want to take the time out to really thank you guys for continuously supporting us. And we headed to 1K. All right, we're headed to 1K, but we did this in record time. Right, we really pretty much did this in a span of 2 to 3 months. All right, about 2 months. That's fast as we've ever grown from any platform. But it's always thanks to you guys. So we appreciate you guys for continuously supporting the heavy hitters, myself, K-Styles, Jew Talk Sports, and our honorary member and brother, six man, but damn, 6-man K-Styles. See, 6-man K-Styles, 2 people, I guess. So
what you goddamn trying to say? Just because I got 4 eyes don't mean I'm 2 people.
He's Kevin by day, K-Styles at night.
No, but it's all because of you guys, man. So love y'all, man. Appreciate you guys for continuing supporting us.
Talk about it, goddamn 2K style. You try to make fun of people with glasses, motherfucker? We gonna do that now? Oh my God! All right, man. And beyond the tomfoolery y'all just heard in the first 5 minutes of the show, we definitely appreciate everybody tuning in. This is Originators Monday. Like you said, if you don't know by now, I am your host. The Silver Fox himself, the 6-man K-Styles is in the building. To my stage left, we got Senator Palpatine, aka Mad Mike Sports. And today we have the supervillain the therapist ATL, aka the Joker.
Wait till they get a load of me.
So we definitely appreciate everybody tuning in. Y'all make sure y'all go ahead and hit that share button. Make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you hit that subscribe button to everybody's channels. Six Man K Styles, Mad Mike Sports, the Therapist ATL. Let's get this show cracking. And before we can do it off, we gotta do this right. Mike, wow, we got 3 special words for the people. What do we got for them?
Oh,
That didn't work.
come on, Roscoe, put more oomph into it.
Y'all could not
Man,
behave.
you know what? I gotta spell. I'm gonna work on something right quick. Y'all do that Roscoe shit again. I got something for y'all. All right. So today's I got something for y'all, boy. It ain't gonna involve no moonshine and a shotgun. I tell you that. But today the roll call, we're gonna kick it off with Anthony White. Auntie Pam is in the building. Andrew G, Big Ant, Terry Lloyd, ATL Leo, John St. Clair, Georgia, Texas boy, Pat Norris, Sonia Howe, that's my peoples. The real Michael Walker's in the building. Southside 12, Brian Peoples, Mucho Grundy. Let's see. Terry Lloyd, okay. Bellows World, Corey Gears 5. We got Liquor with Lenore in the building. We're about to hit him up because he, like he said, we got Uncle Dave's bar spicing up drinks. We got Liquor with Lenore over here spicing up drinks, boy. We got a bartender team over here.
That's it.
That's the alcoholic talk. Engine number 9 and Dreddy. We appreciate y'all tuning in. I think we're gonna go ahead and cut the music because the tomfoolery already got us behind. So DJ, cut the music. Thank you. All right. So as we already know, it's been a somber 24 hours as we just witnessed our Atlanta Falcons losing to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers by the score of 29-25. Now, we're going to take emotions out of yesterday, and we're going to come at it with a logical standpoint and within our emotions today. Now, Juan, since we didn't see you yesterday, I want you to go ahead and kick us off on what you think about what this game meant and how does it move on? How does these next 4 games determine the future for the Atlanta Falcons?
All right. Well, first of all, this game right here exposed the need for growth. And I tell you what I mean by that. Aside from all of the mistakes and aside from, what we saw from the NFL, we said early on that this team is going to have growing pains. But the thing that we did not highlight, and I'm going to highlight, now we're not picking on him, but this is called a teachable moment. Arthur Smith right now is going through his growing pains as a head coach. Okay? That's not taking away his coaching skills. That's not taking away his ability, or from what he wants to do as far as his team goes. But we're highlighting this because, and Mike alluded to it, and I'm going to let him speak on it later on in the show or whatnot. But from what we saw and what was open to my eyes was a long-term plan. But also from what you guys see, he needs to grow with his decision making about this team in situations. A lot of people have been giving him flack for not being able to call plays, this, that, and the other. That's not the issue. The issue comes down to is when it comes down to certain situations, he acts more like a coordinator instead of a head coach. What I mean by that is certain coordinators, they hit a panic button and they do the opposite of what's necessary to win the game. Now, mind you, we had all of our starters on the O-line go out to include our center. When that situation happens, you have new guys on the field that have not been battle tested like they have. So you have to play them differently. When it comes down to certain decisions that need to be made in certain situations, those players need to be put in the best possible position to where you don't inadvertently hurt them, number one, and two, destroy their confidence. Fortunately for us, those guys stepped up. But because of our mistakes, we couldn't overcome the loss.
And Lenore, he said here things didn't look as bad after rewatching. Still bad situational play calling. And
That
Ed
part.
said the same thing as well. And Mike, can you elaborate on what Juan was talking about as far as situational play calls and kind of like panicking under certain situations? What is your interpretation of what he just said on that?
See, this is what makes great offensive play callers. This is what makes great coaches. Okay. Arthur Smith and a lot of coaches, they understand the game and they know the game. All right. Guys like Kyle Shanahan. And Kyle Shanahan is the perfect example of this. And I'm gonna take time out to explain it. 2015, the Atlanta Falcons, offensively, it was just atrocious. The passing game, the running game was inconsistent. The offensive line, they couldn't block, they couldn't run block. The quarterback play was literally Matt Ryan's worst year as a professional. Nothing worked well. Nothing worked well together, even with elite talent. Offensive line, the Falcons had weapons everywhere offensively. And a lot of people think just because you have a talented quarterback, everything should fall in place. Well, Kyle Shanahan, he's been known to be able to build a great offensive line in the running game, but that year it just wasn't the case. So in 2015, the Falcons pretty much had a bad offense altogether. So he went into 2016, and what happened was the organization, Rich McKay, Thomas Dimitroff, pretty much gave him an ultimatum. Either you get it done with Matt Ryan, you and Matt Ryan sit down, figure out what's wrong with this passing game, make it right. He was forced, okay? Make no mistake about it. He was forced to sit down and really look at the small intricate details of what his offense was. 2016, what happened? They became one of the most explosive offenses in NFL history. They made history. But what happened? It came through an absolute storm. It was a shit show in 2015. The following year, when he was forced after being embarrassed as he was labeled as an offensive genius. He was the hottest offensive coach. He was the hottest coach on the market at that time. The hottest one. And he ended up coming to Atlanta in 2015 and having a shit show. And then he was forced to sit down and get things right. All right. So what happened? Again, Falcons got together, the passing game, the running game, but none of this would have happened if he did not fail and totally embarrass himself as a play caller. So this is what has to happen, to go through greatness. And and like this is what we mean by, sometimes you got to be smacked in the face. Sometimes, somebody got to threaten you in order to get things right. And right now, Arthur is going through his being smacked in the face phase. He's being embarrassed. He's being humbled. He's being humbled. He's a great offensive mind. He knows what he's doing. He's been taught by the greatest, like Joe Gibbs. He comes from that tree, so he knows what he's doing. He's confident. He's an extension of the Bill Belichick tree, learning from Mike Vrabel. So he knows football. There's no doubt in my mind that Arthur Smith knows football. But to put it all together, what Warren pretty much stated is that what he's going through is those growing pains. Those growing pains are common sense. You can be the smartest guy, philosophers, as far as your philosophy, schematic, all that. You can be the smartest guy. But if you don't know when to pull out that machete, you don't know when to pull out that AK, you don't know when and where to spend that money, you liable to spend money on the wrong things and wrong investments. Bernie Madoff.
Oh, wow.
I'm saying?
Wow. You had to throw that in there.
After this.
I throw that in. You see, this is the art of football that a lot of people are missing. Is that is not the fact that he's a bad play caller. Doesn't know when and where and how, and this is what separates the great. And now you're seeing Kyle Shanahan. It pains me to say this, but this is why Kyle Shanahan and that offense just looks so damn good right now, because he's finally understanding when and where he needs to make those necessary adjustments in his offense. So the Falcons are going to be fine. And maybe he needs another guy above him to kick him in his behind, or just say, look, you're doing this wrong right now, Arthur. Just calm down, do this instead of doing that. Okay? That's what the problem with the Falcons is. And like I said, we know that Desmond Ridder can do it. He's shown that he can have great games, and he's shown you that he can have unbelievably terrible games. We've seen the best of both worlds, but what's going to get them to the next level is no longer on the players anymore. This is all on Arthur Smith. The Falcons are going to go as far as Arthur Smith goes.
Hey, K-Style, before you go, could I say one more thing to add on to what Mike said? And this is probably I'm going to throw you an alley-oop after this, man.
All right, what you got for me?
All right, so to add on to what Mike said, and we talked about this earlier. Now, and everybody in the chat, Mike brought up 2015, 2016. Y'all remember? We all remember the Super Bowl, right? Now, this is going to sting a little bit. With Kyle Shanahan being at the helm of that, let's be real. In the totality, the Falcons tricked off that Super Bowl. And the reason why I say that, because they had an opportunity to win it, and they went away from what got them there. Now, fast forward to 2023. Last night, and Juice spoke about it too, we went away from what got us wins. That New Orleans game, you saw the recipe come to fruition. That was one of our most complete games. We went away from that. And I'm here to tell y'all, go do your history. Look at those that remember the 80s, remember the late 80s, remember the 90s team, remember the early 2000s, and then the Matt Ryan era. The one constant in all of those eras is Atlanta had a running game to complement the Grits Blitz. It might not have been that effective in the 80s, but when you got to the 90s, they ran the ball. We all know about Jamal Anderson. In the early 2000s, we had a run game. When Vic was there, we had a run game. When Matt Ryan got there, we had a run game. That has been the Atlanta Falcons DNA. And I'm going to say this, and you can timestamp it. Until we stick with our DNA running the ball, we will not win no Super Bowl. We will not get to no championship. I don't care how many good players you put on this team. I don't care what combination of coaches you put on here. I don't care how many first rounders you draft. If you do not stick to the DNA of the team, you will lose. The DNA is running the ball. The DNA is what made 2022, made our team what it was to keep us in them 7-10 type situations. Yes, that's not high on everybody's radar, but it is what it is. This has never been an Air Raid team. Yes, we were fortunate to have a future Hall of Famer, Matt Ryan, to have an arm to be able to dissect defenses because he's been in the league so long. But the bread and butter of this team has always been the run game. The run game. Detroit said it earlier this season. We were looking for the Falcons from last year. Why? Because the run game does two things. It brings the best out of teams and it scares them. We built a defense this year to complement the run game, and that's what everybody wanted to see. And this situational growth that Arthur Smith is going through, he's having to learn and be able to maintain the DNA of this team. That's why a lot of us fans are frustrated because we know what works. We've seen what works. He saw what works. He has to come to grips with, I need to stick with that. Why? Because when you have players go out like they did yesterday, your run game gives a new head coach cushion to get the wrong stuff right without harming the team. When you abandon the run game and try to do air raid, guess what you just told everybody? All your hard work, practicing what we do, what our identity is, that's not our identity anymore. Now your players are confused because they don't know what to do. So until you stick with the identity of this team that has been almost 30 plus years, you're not going to get another Super Bowl. You're not going to get there and you're not going to win. Period. You got to stick with what works for you.
I'm almost speechless. Like I said, that's a damn alley-oop that I about dropped on that motherfucker. But yeah, you're right. It's not necessarily. And the thing about it is, it's not necessarily just running the football. That's the issue. It's the timing of the runs that kind of messes up the flow of what they want to do. And what I mean by that is let's look at this last game in perspective. There was a couple drives where you were seeing Algier getting 4-5 yards.
Mm-hmm.
Then you bring in Bijan, he may get a yard or two. And then the next 4 plays is straight passing plays. And like I said, we've seen a lot of this all season. And I'm thinking, I'm thinking, is the expectations of what the fans and what we and the media thought this team would be is a little bit higher than he can handle because of all the additions that they have made the last couple of years, especially on defense. And then you throwing Bijan in there. Like I said, you got Drake London and Kyle Pitts. Like I said, you've added to this offensive line. You added to the defense. So it comes down to a point where regardless of what the expectations of what everybody outside of the locker room has, it's what is his expectation? What is the team's goal? And like you said, if the team's goal is not consistent on a weekly basis, we'll have 1 week where we focus on balance. like you said, it may not be run heavy, but
Right.
you'll have a mix of balance. You like you said, you'll see, okay, you may have 38 passes, 32 runs.
Right.
Or I'll say like 35 passes and 28 runs or something like that. That kind of balance right there is where this team is most successful at. Despite the flaws on offense, this is what is and definitely shout out Jude said Coach Smith not understanding football rhythm.
That's true.
Right. And I don't know I don't know LT in here being sarcastic as hell. I think he being sarcastic. Hell, we gonna get to that though. We get into that later in the show. but I want to I kind of want to focus on this aspect of it, and you said it, it's rhythm. Like you said, we've seen 2 weeks in a row where the Falcons have given up safeties. We running zone stretch plays in our own end zone, and then we fucking around running play action deep shot in our own 1 yard line.
Ooh, gosh.
And the thing, and like you said, and the thing is, in those situations, I understand we're looking for big plays. I know everybody's looking for that deep shot. Everybody's looking for that big play. You get a couple of them. You got a couple of them yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
But when you're in situations where you're that close to your goal line, even if you don't get the first down, I want my offensive lineman to go forward. When I say go forward, I'm talking about me looking in the camera, looking at you. This is where I'm going right here. It don't like I said, it don't matter if they got a punt in that situation. You never want your offensive lineman running sideline to sideline in that situation or backwards, because especially what Juan said, you have 3 new offensive linemen. You can't get them in a rhythm if you passing the ball four straight times.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And another thing is, what you got to understand. Did y'all notice the reason why a lot of the players on the field were getting hurt? And this is something I mentioned a while ago. Anytime you are in the fourth quarter of any game, you're either the team's offense is tired or the defense is tired. In any case, those men have to exert themselves harder in the fourth quarter, which means that if you fall wrong, you get hurt. So when you have guys, if I say that I got a run first offense, let's just say the offense balance in that game is close to 50. So we'll do 60-40. And I got new offensive linemen in there that haven't played snaps like that, and I got them going backwards. Guess what? I could potentially get them hurt. Mm-hmm. Because number one, they have not had time to get, they ain't had battle tested time in that position. They ain't played team upon team upon team enough to have them reps under their belt. So I can't put them in a position where they have to exert any more energy over the top of what they're doing. So now if you hurt your backups, who do you have? Now you got holes on the offense. And being that you in the red zone, you have a compressed field, which means in most cases, the defense got the advantage. Because there's only so many plays you can do to get out of the end zone, but without getting a safety. So you got to put them in the best position to succeed, which is that at that point, you got to run the ball. You got to run it at them. You can't do that cute stuff. You don't have space for it.
Mm-hmm. Because even Chuck here saying it's not all doom and gloom because we're in most of our games. The question is what takes us over the top, especially playing more offense playoff teams next year. Like you said, it says like really when you look at what takes us over the top, it's not even nothing really major. The problem is, like you said, the problem is turnovers at the wrong time.
Mm-hmm.
It's not getting sacks at the right time. Like I said, it ain't just like as much as everybody want us to say it's 100% a quarterback thing. No, it's a whole team thing. Like you said, quarterback plays a part in it. Defense plays a part. Like you said, I know you heard Mike talk about Richie Grant earlier, so we know that's an issue that you have to work out in. Like I said, we saw Ryan Newsel come in this game, and we saw the passing offense look more explosive with Ryan Newsel in the game. Now, you could say, well, Vita Vea didn't play, and Devin White didn't play. But when you saw Ryan Newsel in there, Desmond Ridder had almost 350 passing yards.
Mm-hmm.
So they were getting plays down the field. Yeah. But like you said, the issue right now is when you have a bunch of you just have a bunch of inconsistencies right now on all levels. And what you got, Mike?
Okay, so I know a lot of people are subscribed to Locked On Sports Atlanta, and Jarvis Davis said something that we at Atlanta Falcons Nation have been saying for quite some time now. It's not that he made a video, so if you guys go check him out on Twitter, the video is all on Twitter. He put it out there, and basically on that play, and I said the exact same thing before I even saw the video. I didn't say the video before I did my live, and in that live I stated that it was two things: defensive coordinator, the play itself. You can debate whether or not it was a good play or a bad play, but one of the things that he stated was, and that play was execution. Even the call, as a former player himself, he didn't have a problem with. He didn't have a problem with how, the call that Arthur, but what he stated with Keith Smith, it was just the execution part. And we've said this time and time again. You can call the worst or the best play. It does not matter. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if it's good or bad. Why? Because you have to execute. And the thing is that on that play, it was two things. But one thing was a glaring issue, and that was Keith Smith. He took for whatever reason, he knew that his responsibility was outside. But for whatever reason, he took an inside step. And he totally gave up the outside, and Antoine Winfield just gave him a little shuck and jive and went outside and ran right past him. See, these are the things that we talk about with the small, intricate details of football. This is what gets you beat. And a lot of people just say, oh, this guy just super fast and he's super quick. No. A lot of times it's just bad technique, and it's the lack of execution. So this is what we mean, man. Like, look, a lot of times this is exactly why we say this type of stuff. We say this time and time again, and people like a lot of people even in here, they were calling me, "Oh, Mike, you gonna say this is not bad play calling? It's not bad play calling?" Of course, I'm not gonna say it. We've said this time and time again. We got football players saying the exact same thing that we're saying. Most of the time, it's just bad execution. You don't execute, you don't do your job. And we heard Warren say this all the time: do your job. You don't do your job, it's going to make everybody look bad. And a lot of the times, Desmond Ridder gets all the blame. Arthur Smith gets all the blame. Why? Because his players aren't executing. So I follow Jarvis Davis on Twitter so you can find that play for yourself. And use exactly what we mean. It comes down to execution, man. If you don't execute the smallest minute detail, and that's what I was saying about even Kyle Pitts, even on that interception. If Kyle Pitts just does something, if he just redirects him or hold him
He ain't even got to redirect them. All he got to do is just bump into him.
All you have to do, and that interception never happens. See, these are the things we say. These are the small, intricate details of football. So if like I said, if he just bumps into Carlton Davis, that's not an interception.
Mm-hmm.
And possibly that's a big game for Bijan Robinson because he had a lane. It was right there. He had a lane. Blocker.
No, there was only three defenders in that area, and two and the one that was unblocked was literally the free safety.
Mm-hmm.
And like I said, that one was bad. And I think the one play, and I kind of look back at that play. Remember when we was talking about the one where Ridder missed Bijan Robinson on the goal line?
Mm-hmm.
Remember what we talked about it yesterday? And I went to go look at it. It was partially that, but this is just another one of those things where sometimes people get a little too happy to see something open up and overthink it. And that's why Desmond Ridder missed that. He missed that flat out to Bijan in the red. He got too damn happy. And instead of putting some air on it, he tried to gun that hole in there. It just looked sloppy.
So it's like I said, we can sit up here and talk about whether or not it's right, but it comes down to execution, man. You can, like I said, you can call the best play in the world, but if a guy slip on that best play in the world, guess what? It could go for 2 yards instead of 20 yards. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
It comes down to execution. What wins and what make big plays. You can see all these people up here talking about, well, what if this and what if this? Sometimes shit don't work. Sometimes you get things. Sometimes you don't get the best out of a play. Sometimes you're going to mess up. That is nobody above that. Nobody above mistakes. Nobody is above mistakes.
Right. Because if you want to look at it like this, look at Philly. Philly supposed to be out front and damn near untouchable, and you see Dallas whip that ass. Dallas put a 30 spot up on them boys. So this is what we saying, like, and with Mike, Mike and K Styles and all of us talking about situational stuff like that. The one thing that you have to understand, especially with a young team, is that certain intervals, when you see your offense in shambles mentally, you got to be able to get on the sideline and get them boys calmed down so they can get back focused. Because a lot of simple mistakes come when we get caught up in the game. You know what I'm saying? You go to looking at the score, you go to looking at the clock and forget your opponent right in front of you. And that's part of it too. You got to be able, when you see your offense or you see your defense getting out of touch, you got to be able to reel those guys back in and get them focused.
Right. Cartier said the Vikings really won 3-0. Yeah, they did.
Man, listen. I hate to be in the locker room with that conversation.
Hey, look, you rather be on the winning side of 3-0 than the losing side. I'm telling you. I don't want to be on the losing side of that. I don't
somebody
mind
walking by,
games, but I don't want to.
Somebody walking behind the airplane. They ain't even walking behind the bus. They walking behind the airplane.
Wow, look, see, this is where I say hindsight is 2020, man. Because guess what? That's not the first time any player. Wait, how many times have we seen players like teams on their 1 yard line run a play action and they end up scoring a touchdown? We did that with Matt Ryan and Julio when he caught that ball against the Giants. Roddy White on the sideline against Carolina. They was deep in their own territory. This is not something that it's never happened, and it's like a lot of times we think it's a bad play, but it end up being a good play. Why? Because they executed. So a lot of times it just come down to how good and how much you trust your team to execute. Because sometimes your players make you look a lot smarter than what you really are. Why? Because they
Right.
Right.
Right. See the thing,
Right.
and then the thing, I think the other thing too, as well, is when we look at the guys that we do have, you don't really have necessarily great route runners. So the thing is, even in those situations like that, um, if you like you said, I just think in that moment right there, like you said, when you got these new offensive linemen like that, you want to get them, you want to get their adrenaline in the game first,
Right.
instead of putting them in a situation where, okay, oh
that
shit, this is my first snap. Oh shit,
Yeah.
and boom,
Yeah.
there you go.
Mentally and physically cold.
Right. Right. See now, if this was one of those cases where those offensive linemen had already been in the game for a little bit and they already feeling the momentum of the game and the energy of the game, and you was getting some push up front like that consistently, you could throw a play like that. Like I said, we've seen Matt Ryan do it against Chicago his rookie year, where he hit that bitch on the sideline, literally with like a minute left in the game. We've seen Mariota hit a couple passes. Hell, we've seen Ridder hit a few passes like that.
Mm-hmm.
But the thing about it is when you have fresh offensive linemen, they're not feeling the momentum of the game yet. Now you putting them in a pressure packed situation to where they haven't had no live reps at all this year.
And the worst thing in the world is, in their mind, is they're playing not to make a mistake instead of just playing the game.
Right.
you gotta have the
Now,
ability to calm your players down. That's what that when you see, and I said this several times in our chat. Coaches have to have the ability to read his. He got to be a psychologist. He got to understand what that player and what the team, how they're feeling in that moment. Are they feeling like one, for instance? I know everybody remember this. He read the body language of the defense. He read the body language of the defense when he decided to say this on the sideline. We're getting ready to run the piss out the ball. Why? He didn't just do that because he was cocky and he was arrogant and he just wanted to run the ball. No, he saw that the defense was on their heels. They were demoralized, and they said, "Yeah, they don't believe they can stop us." So guess what he did? He ran the ball down their freaking throat. So these are the things that a coach has to have the ability to read. You got to be able to read body language, read these players. And I think he didn't. I think at first quarter, and that's what's been plaguing him. He's been focused on his own. He's been so focused on getting his game plan to passing the ball that he's lost track of what's best for his team.
Mm-hmm.
I know K-Style. Look at K-Style. Go ahead.
because and that's why I said earlier, like I said, it's almost like it's almost like he's trying to overcompensate simply fact of the type of players that he got on his offense. And somebody asked a question about, and I want to kind of get to the second part of the question tonight is what will these 4 games say about the future of this regime?
Hmm.
Ooh,
And that's why I said, man, it's almost like he's trying that everybody's trying to overcompensate for everybody on that offense, and that's where the inconsistencies come in at. Instead of doing your damn job, instead of keeping it simple, stupid, be overcomplicating things, and like you said, it's just
Can I say it?
it's a shit show. It's a shit show. Yeah.
Can I say it?
Go ahead.
Unless you got 5+ years experience as a head coach and have been in championship games, you will never out finesse a fresh defense, especially if it's not your specialty. You will never out finesse a team's defense. And that's what he was trying to do.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care how many playmakers you got on the team. If you don't stick to your identity, the initial part of it that gets you home, you cannot out finesse a fresh defense. Remember, you use the run game to wear the defense down, but you also use the run game to make the defense honest, so that when you begin to put wrinkles in the play, like, play action pass or the deep balls or, kind of reverses or whatnot, then they're more susceptible. A fresh defensive coordinators know how to get their best players to sit on routes, to sit in gaps.
See,
So,
what Juan means by out finesse, the thing is what he was doing, he was trying to get too cute with a lot of those screen plays and the plays to Bijan with those like quick screens and flat routes and stuff like that. Like, that's finesse. All right. Sometimes you got to go right at these guys, and especially a well coached defense like that with the top bowls. Like, he has his players ready. That's what he mean by out finesse guys.
Yeah.
All right. So I want to go ahead and set these last 15, 20 minutes up on this topic is, what do you think the future is for this team? I got a very controversial question for everybody. And I want everybody to give me your honest opinion. Do you think that these last 4 games is Desmond Ridder's audition tape for another team in 2024?
It's quite possible. It's very possible.
So I'm going to ask everybody, do you think that this is Desmond Ridder's last 4 games as an Atlanta Falcon? Now, I asked this question because I'm not saying possible. Is it a yes or a no? Because I've been hearing a whole bunch of possibles and ifs and ands. Yes or no?
I'll say yes with conditions.
Because what's going to end up happening, like I said, we don't know. Like I said, this is looked at as an extreme possibility. But when you start hearing these rumblings from a lot of people about quarterbacks, and like I said, and Mike said it earlier, that had me thinking, is like, if that's really your guy, you don't bench him. Hey, that how I go, Mike?
Yes.
Yeah. And Coach Unchained put a different spin on it the other day, and he said, I've never seen a head coach put a quarterback in such bad situations to where it pretty much is going to make him the scapegoat of everything regardless. Because if that is the case, when I ask people, this question, they look at me with this convention like I'm being too extreme. I never thought back. Look. You can't be too damn extreme because you have to remember the big three of our offense before this regime even came in was all gone in a year.
That's true. That is true. And 2 left within 2 months of each other.
Deion Jones was gone after that year too.
Mm-hmm.
So we've seen these situations play like this before where we never think that guys may be gone.
Now, this last game showed that Ridder has the heart to try to overcome losses and mistakes. These next 4 games will be, especially from a business standpoint, an audition. Because let's be honest, K. Styles asked this question earlier in the week earlier last week about, you know what I'm saying, why don't we just get rid of him? A lot of y'all said that was too extreme. We can keep him as a backup. And I'm gonna say it straight out. You don't want to lose to him going to another team. That's just point blank, period. You rather keep him on a team where you can where he can be ridiculed for not being that dude, but you don't want him to go to another team and flourish. Because now you got to be faced with being wrong about it. But as it stands right now, let's be honest with it. We ain't doing him no favors. We're not doing him no favors, not career-wise and not in the eyes of the higher-ups on his team. Oh, he's fighting tooth and nail, but we're not as an organization doing him any favors to look good in the eyes of in public opinion, nor in the optics of our owner.
There's a
because if they are in the if they are in the market, let's say the Atlanta Falcons are in a market for a quarterback after this season's conclusion, like you said, you may, and Chuck said, unless he's part of a trade package, why else would he be gone? That's what I'm talking about. He will probably most likely be put in a trade package if you're bringing in another quarterback. Because the issue that's going to come down to is if you bring in a veteran quarterback, there's a, like I said, I could see a reason to keep Desmond. But if you draft a quarterback, there's no reason to keep him. Because for a young quarterback, you want a wily veteran backup to teach him. And I'm not talking about a wily veteran that you put in as an emergency quarterback at third string. No, you want that guy literally in the lineup. Anything happens, boom, 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 boom.
Okay, so I think a lot of people are missing one thing too. A lot of people see this is why we say you got to start thinking with how they do things and what they've stated, and not what you feel. Okay, because the thing is that I've been wrong. We were wrong when it came down to Matt Ryan and Julio. I thought there was no way in hell that they would trade both of those guys.
Exactly.
We were wrong when it came down to that. I thought there was more potential for Julio gone than Matt Ryan. They end up getting rid of everyone. Julio, Matt Ryan, and Calvin Ridley. So to say that Desmond Ridder, a guy that just got here, he has not proven anything. He has not proven anything that he can lead this team to the playoffs. He hasn't proven that he's a Pro Bowl quarterback. And to sit here with a straight face and say,
yeah, I'm 110% sure that he will be back. That is, I would be an absolute hypocrite to say that is true. Now, my heart is saying, yes, I believe that Desmond Ridder deserves to be here. He's played well enough to be here, but he does not deserve to automatically, the way that he's played. Desmond Ridder has not done himself any favors when it comes down to making Arthur Blank, Rich McKay, and a lot of fans and media to say, yeah, you're the franchise, quote unquote, franchise quarterback. He has not done enough to garner that respect because that's what makes great quarterbacks. This is what makes franchise quarterbacks is that they've done enough, and a lot of times is due to making big plays and winning big games against big teams and big time defenses. Okay, Desmond Ridder hasn't done that. Now he's played well. He's been incredibly inconsistent this year. But he's made a hell of a lot of plays and he's done a hell of a lot of good things. He's a hell of a person. He's a hell of a leader. But that right there is not enough to say for sure, for certain, he will be back.
That's it.
Right. And like you said, that's where it's tough too, because and where the inconsistencies come is always early in the games. But for some reason, when that fourth quarter comes, now all that potential that we see that we know he has, it flourishes in the fourth quarter. I don't know what it is. I like I said, and that's where a lot of people kind of have this mixed feelings about it, because it's like, okay, what's going on here? But then it's like when that mid third quarter, the fourth quarter, it's like, okay, I see it.
Same boat. That's what he turned.
Why that's where the conflict. That's where the conflicting potential that he has.
You know what it is. You got to think in them 2 quarters, he has to show out.
Yeah.
In his mind, he knows at this point in time, usually by that time, either we have made enough mistakes to put us behind the 8 ball, or we're right on the cusp that if we make one fatal mistake, we'll be behind the 8 ball. So he has to show out. Instead of when you get in them first couple of quarters, this is why we say the players on the field with him have to do him a favor in the beginning of the game, so that he's not having to have these comeback type plays at the end. He can just play the game. Our coaches have to put him in a position to where he's not having to come back from stuff. The consistency would make him a more consistent quarterback, because he's not having any quarterback after a certain point in time. You got him playing under duress. Something is going to go wrong.
See, 2-1, there's a misconception that Arthur keeps putting him in bad positions. A lot of times it's like fumbling the ball 2 times. That's not on Arthur. You know what I'm saying?
I agree.
Like, see, this is why there's a catch-22, and while we're saying what we're saying, Desmond has done things to put himself in those positions to make that tough decision, like to make these allegations, whether or not he's that guy. So it's both he and Arthur and the team around him, because people they totally disregard the fact that Drake London, granted that he had a big game, he had a big drop
down the sideline.
Yeah.
John had a drop. You know, we had games where Bijan Robinson had key drops. You know what I'm saying?
Matt Collins, John Smith, Kyle Pitts.
So not the fact that is like I said, everybody want to put the onus all on Arthur, but this is why I say go back and look at Jarvis his videos, because a lot of times it doesn't matter what play is drawn up. If your guy decides, like I said, if your guy just slips on a play, sometimes it's just a bad, it's just an unfortunate event. So a lot of times you gotta let these guys, weather the storm, calm down at the end of the day. Like I forget who said it. They just, I think it was Terry who said after looking at the game, a lot of stuff wasn't as bad as we thought it was, and that's the thing. Sometimes at the end of the season, after watching film, and go back and watch these games and watch what actually goes on, and then look at everybody's numbers, like compare it to this guy and compare it to the league. A lot of times it's not as bad as we think it is, because we're still in that moment of trying to reach that ultimate goal of the playoffs and the Super Bowl. So this is why I say right now, Desmond hasn't done enough to garner that respect to keep him as that potential franchise quarterback.
Right. So in layman's term, what we saying is Atlanta Falcons got to stand on business for these 4 games, because if they don't, somebody's jobs is and that's what, and like what Anthony White said, like I said last night, like if the Falcons don't make even if the Falcons make the playoffs, they're gonna lose some key guys.
Yeah,
they're gonna lose some key guys on that offense. And like you said, we don't know what the game plan is. Like you said, the main mantra that we said about this regime is these guys ain't worth shit.
Yeah.
which means anything can damn happen.
that part.
Anybody.
Like you said, like somebody said in the chat, there may not be a market for Desmond Ridder.
Yeah.
Maybe
it may not.
It is. But like I said, while most people thinking that it may not, you don't know. People been actually looking into it. And Quest said he played like Tim Tebow. That's very disrespectful. Tim Tebow wasn't shit. At least Desmond Ridder throws the football. Look. I can't say Tim Tebow wasn't worth a damn. He complete one pass.
Desmond Ridder then came back in a couple games by passing Tim Tebow. Tim Tebow can't pass to himself.
But when he needed to make the throw, yeah, he made it. But goddamn it may be only one throw out of the whole game.
I mean, he did. A lot to like 7 for 21. Like, bro,
Tim Tebow won a game where he completed 3 passes. And 2 of them went for slants to the house.
He said, John said Tebow has a playoff win and a college
championship.
Oh.
What the fuck that mean? Look, you know the damn.
And Tim Tebow ain't played a meaningless. He ain't played a down of football after that playoff victory.
Thank you. That bodes to his career. There you go.
Yeah, I'm about to say, boy, that boy Tim Tebow got the championships in college. He got the one playoff win, but they literally ended up trading him literally after them playoffs, and he played it down in the NFL since.
Right.
Right, I swear, y'all act like them damn. Yeah, I swear, boy. He got a championship. Motherfucker, the backup kicker got a championship too. What the fuck that mean?
Y'all gotta understand. Not all skill sets gonna translate to the NFL for the duration.
If college championships translate to the NFL, goddamn it, every quarterback in the SEC would be Hall of Famers right now.
There you go. There you go.
That is the truth.
Look, man, and like I said, one thing that when it comes down to football, a lot of it see a lot of issues. We just gonna say, all right, because he's the head coach, everything is all his fault. Because why? Because he's the leader. He's the one that put the game plan together. He does all that. But like, we don't know for sure that he's not being influenced by a lot of offensive staff members, defensive staff members. Guys like Terry Fontenot who wants a certain style. He may wants a certain style, or Rich McKay who wants a certain style, or Arthur Blank who wants a certain. We don't know any of this. So a lot of times we try to put all the blame on the head coach and the quarterback. It's a collective. As a collective, this team has to get it together. The end. Okay? That's what it comes down to. Yeah, he's that guy. And yeah, if the team doesn't perform well, he's going to be the fall guy. But we've seen time and time again where head coaches, and we saw that with the Saints, for example.
Mm-hmm.
We saw it with the Cowboys. They get rid of the coach and they kept everything else. The offensive staff, the defensive staff, but they just got rid of the coach, or they just got rid of the quarterback and our defensive guy, and they picked up what? So a lot of times we be thinking it's just the head coach is the problem, and we saw that with Tampa, with John Gruden. Everybody thought John Gruden was the issue, or they thought Tony Dungy was the issue in Tampa. They end up getting a hold of damn John Gruden. And guess what? That organization went straight down the shitter. Okay? Yes, I said it. Pewter. Okay, I ain't gonna say your first name. All right, Pewter. Y'all just was the issue, and then y'all let a Hall of Fame coach go to the Colts, and he won championships for them, and turned that team one of the greatest assembled teams that ever was. So a lot of times it just come down to patience, bro. It come down to patience. We gotta stop trying to put all the blame on one particular person, because it's deeper than just Arthur Smith and Desmond. It's deeper than Arthur.
No, I got you. He's the car there talking about where the water boy picture. I gotta upload that thing again. That former friend picture. I gotta upload that thing again. But kind of what Mike is talking about, like I said, if we do a retrospective of this past season, of this season so far, let's look at some of the losses that the Falcons have had. Okay, we can go to the Washington game.
Mm-hmm.
Desmond Ridder doesn't throw that bonehead interception in the end zone. And they actually run the football in the red zone. That's one of the games.
Detroit.
The two games Tyler Heineke started.
Oh gosh.
You wrap up on the quarterback. The other team ain't in field goal range to beat you by field goals.
Mm-hmm.
That's 3 right there.
Mm-hmm.
Detroit.
This past game,
the first one with even Tampa Bay.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't a loss, but like you made that game closer than what it is. All you had to do is tackle him.
Mm-hmm.
That's not an awesome.
So in reality, when it comes down to, like I said, this is a whole team thing right here. Like you said, it's not just one person.
Right.
You get the 2 sacks against Josh Dobbs and Kyler Murray. You got 2 wins right there because they won't be close enough to kick field goals.
Mm-hmm.
Well, never mind that, because I forgot Richie Grant was on the defense, and the tight end said, man, if he got me man to man, just throw me the damn ball. Yeah, we're not gonna get into that right now.
Please don't. Please don't.
The Tennessee game. If Van Jefferson doesn't drop that pass on that 4th and 5 where he was wide open, you never know. They driving down the field. That's a possible win. So, like you said, everybody has contributed to a loss somewhat this season. It ain't just Desmond Ridder. It's not just Arthur Smith. It's everybody. Koo missed the 2 field goals yesterday, which came back to bite us in the ass.
There you go.
It's deeper than just Arthur Desmond, man.
Mm-hmm.
Look, again, this is what I say all the time. How many times y'all remember that play with AB? And we saw the play even with Mike Vick and Deshaun Jackson when they was in their own they was deep in their own territory, and he threw that bitch up 500 fucking feet in the air, and Deshaun Jackson caught that bitch. We see it all the time with players, when coaches call quote unquote dumb plays and they work out. It happens every game. But the fact of the matter, it comes down to execution. It may look like a stupid play. Let's be real. Let me ask y'all a question. With that shovel pass that Bijan caught that behind his back,
man, listen.
Was that actually a good play or a bad play?
That shit was flicked, but it worked.
Yeah, I would say. I guess they consider it good since it worked.
No, it was the right play call, but the execution was flicked as hell. But they still executed on it.
Bijan barely he barely caught the damn ball.
Well, I mean,
that's what I'm talking about. The execution. A lot of times, the execution turns a play and make it look a lot better than what it is. Even that catch with Kyle Pitts, he caught that mug behind his back. That was a bad pass. It was a good play call, but it was a bad pass. But Kyle Pitts make it work. Execution, bro.
Well, I mean, let's be honest then, since we gonna call it day. A lot of y'all, I bet you did not think Drake London was gonna catch that deep pass that Ridder threw.
Exactly.
Y'all did, because I seen some tweets where people was like, man, that could have been a disaster. It did. Man, as high as that ball was, you saw Drake. What did Drake do? He did something that Mike had talked about for years. He went up and got the ball. Because had Drake not gotten that ball, the defender behind him would have got it.
Mm-hmm.
If that was Kyle Pitts, that would have been intercepted.
Yeah. That would have been it. Yeah, you're right.
So, like I said,
Hey, look. Alberto said y'all took yesterday's loss like a shot of tequila. Y'all drunk it, hot going down and over with it.
Bro,
look. At the end of the day, bro, I'm telling you like this. As much of Falcon fans we can be and how emotional we can get after losses and wins and stuff like that. And people watching the game, we have no control of what the fuck going on. We can only just go off of emotion based on what we see.
Mm-hmm.
Now, but we're talking about teams needing to make moves because we said so. Only Green Bay has the power to do that because their fans actually own the team.
Right. Yeah, they have no ownership.
Yeah.
So like you said, you're gonna win games and you're gonna lose games. I'm not look. I'm not finna give my daughter up for adoption because she made a C on her report card. That's bullshit.
Bro, do you know how many times I have to tell my children to clean their room? You know right now.
I'm gonna throw my kid in the. I'm gonna throw my kids in the street because they didn't make their room up.
Do you know how many?
Whoa! Did you say kids? You got something to tell somebody or something?
Hell no, I ain't got nothing to tell nobody. Don't be trying to set me up on that bullshit. Don't be trying to set me up on that shit.
I'm fucking with it.
Hey, look, man.
Hey, look, I already had to tell Shell about when she witnessed my whole face. So look, we ain't going down that road.
What you say? What you say? What you say? K-Style, you a reformed hoe now.
I'm a reformed heathen. That we gonna say that.
I'm just saying.
It could have ended up bad like that, but I was smart with mine. There's a difference.
I mean, well, shit, man, you could have had twins.
Oh boy.
Hey man, hey, look at the end of the day, like you said, if you like if your kids is messing up at the end of the day and they keep messing up, that comes down to you.
Yeah,
That comes down to your parenting. Because I'm about to say, damn, I'm about to say he about to go whoop somebody right now. That's why he had to jump off the screen right quick.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
George says what I said, I call my belt Joe Jackson.
oh
Straight
God.
up, no cap.
At least it ain't James Evans.
But
I knew how far to go.
but then like you said, look, but then that's also an issue what goes on in our community, especially our black community, because our households is fucked up. You got well, it ain't even just our community, it's just kids in general. You got kids disrespectful to parents, parents wanting to fight their kids. You got parents out here
That's that
trying to be
friendship.
friends more than parents
Yeah,
and all
that's that
that.
friendship.
Like I
I ain't
said,
got time for that.
the whole dynamic is flipped. It's not right. Like I said, you got states now throw you in jail for 10 years for disciplining your kids, and you got kids can go out here do whatever the hell they want to with no consequences. It's like
No,
that's a whole nother that's a
right.
that's a whole nother show right there. But that's gonna be the debut of the Chronicles of Life with K Styles right there, boy, because that's actually a very interesting topic. Because that Cam Newton Charleston White interview said a whole lot of things.
Mm-hmm. Hey, if y'all want some topics like that, man, yeah, we might put that on Man Mike Experience and K-Star Chronicles.
Boy, trust me, yeah.
Right.
That is a very interesting rabbit hole right there.
Mm-hmm. I done seen somebody grandmama scrapping with a high school girl at a Walmart. I said, "Oh boy, you know what? No."
See,
Okay.
no, we didn't do that.
Now we need to end the show now because
Yeah,
that's some
yeah,
foolery on the 9th degree right there.
yeah. Don't do it.
So like I said, man, y'all make sure y'all go ahead and y'all stay up on everybody Atlanta Falcon Nation related. We got the 6-man combo coming tomorrow. Where I'm gonna be thinking of what if scenarios. That may be a possibility. Or actually, I don't damn know what the hell I'm gonna talk about tomorrow. I'll find out. I'll find out while I'm at work. But oh, they said Trey just got thrown out. Oh, look, well, Lord, my bad. All right, so till next time, y'all, man. We ain't here to play.
Oh no.
We here to stay.
Oh yeah, dig it.
Wait a minute, God damn. The boy said I got two boys, both 6'4", 300 pounds, and 16 and 15, 6'2", 250. Yeah, but you got some football players on your hand right there, boy.
Yeah. Go ahead and call up Arthur. Yeah, go ahead and call up Arthur Blank and have them boys inducted.
They already been scouted by Alabama and Georgia, so yeah, you might well go ahead and go down the road.
Pretty much. Take your pick. You can have a family rivalry.
I know. Hey, deuces.
Yeah.
We out. Damn, 6'4", 300 pounds and 16. Yeah. That's an offensive lineman right there.
Bruh, you got baby Calais Campbell's at home. Dang.
Nah. He said class of 2025 and class of 2027. Oh yeah, that's gonna be on the 24/7 recruitment rankings right there.
Oh yeah, we looking out for their names because we're gonna revisit this conversation. We see them on the field. I remember such and such said them boys was gonna play.
Exactly.